welcome to PCT Virtual Theater, brought to you by the Pullman Civic Theater. In times like these, when you may be cooped up in your homes, isolated from others, stories provide our only escape from the monotony. That's where we come in. Travel with us to an old warehouse, situated in what was once a bustling industrial area, now desolate and run down. The wind whistles through the cracks in the windows, carrying the smell of mildew and bleach. A large curtain conceals most of the interior, save for a small area with a hospital gurney and a table. The only source of light is a gas lantern set on the table next to an old wooden box. The doctor emerges from behind the curtain, carrying a heavily stained cloth, and lays it out on the table. She opens the box, taking inventory. The patient enters.
Ah, good afternoon. I was afraid you wouldn't come.
I had no choice. My body is getting weaker. If I put this off any longer, I won't make it.
Yes, well, this procedure is all about keeping you around as long as possible. Perhaps even forever.
The doctor pulls a pair of blood-stained gloves out of the box and puts them on as the patient sits on the edge of the gurney. Though this was not her first time here, the patient couldn't help but feel uneasy. Perhaps it was her dire situation, or the cold metal of the gurney giving her a chill. The doctor retrieves a worn leather notebook from the wooden box and prepares to take notes.
I just have a few questions before we begin.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
Not great. I'm tired, dizzy, and have frequent heart palpitations.
Do you notice any stomach pain?
No.
You hesitated.
I don't feel my stomach at all.
Interesting. That was your first procedure, correct? The stomach?
Yes.
How has your appetite been?
I don't have one.
Do you eat?
Yes, but it's more out of habit than anything else.
Well, as long as you're eating, how about your breathing?
It's all right.
Elaborate.
I had a hard time of it at first, getting the muscles to work. They really didn't want to. I wasn't able to sleep for days after the procedure, afraid I might stop breathing in the night. I was able to get a machine that kept air going to my lungs while I slept. Every once in a while I'll stop breathing if I'm not paying attention, but I've learned how to deal with it.
Very good. Are you following the guidelines I sent for you?
You mean the temperature thing?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't stress enough how important it is that you keep up with that. These procedures, they can go wrong in an instant, and there's more of a chance of something happening once you're out of my care.
I understand.
Good. Just relax and we'll begin.
The doctor disappears behind the curtain. The patient sits, waiting, trying to occupy her mind as it dwells on her feelings of unease. She notices the doctor has left her notebook. Thinking only of distracting herself, she begins reading.
Day 1. The subject is doing well. The heart is taking to the body, and he seems to still have brain function. He can't do anything too strenuous, but is otherwise fine. Day 3. There was a complication. The subject died last night in his sleep. The heart had stopped pumping blood and began to rot. I suspect it was the subject's body temperature. I was too warm for the organ and caused it to decompose. I will experiment with body temperature to determine the perfect balance that will keep the organ alive without killing the subject? Subject number 7 has died. Thus far, every subject has survived until the heart transplant. We'll try experimenting with fresher bodies. Subject number 15 has died. The temperature needed to keep the heart from decaying destroys the brain. Perhaps replacing the brain is the answer? Subject number 16, a bright young woman. She has a disease that causes total organ failure. Little by little, I'm replacing her vital organs, though I'm having to resort to other means to obtain my replacements. I think the landlord suspects me, but he does his best to avoid me, and for that I'm thankful. I'm going to test my hypothesis with number 16 and hope that she will finally be the one to prove the impossible.
Just as she finishes reading the final entry, the doctor returns, carrying a bucket full of ice. She stops and sees the patient holding her notebook. She smiles, setting the bucket down on the table.
You know what they say about curiosity.
What is this?
It's none of your concern.
What happened to the others?
It's none of your concern.
Where are the organs coming from?
You don't know how to listen, do you? It's none of your concern.
What are you doing to me?
I'm fixing you. I'm healing your failing body. If I can replace all of your diseased organs with working ones and you live to tell the tale, who's to say I can't keep doing that? Forever. Every time something starts failing, just replace it with something that works. The only problem I'm running into is body temperature. You see, the methods I'm using to transplant these organs are very uncommon. I would go into detail, but you wouldn't understand. They require constant cold to keep from decaying inside the body and killing the host. I've tried using fresher organs. In fact, this heart...
From the bucket of ice, she pulls a human heart. A sinister smile spreads across her lips.
came from a young man down the hall. Your stomach I got from a woman downstairs. Your lungs from her brother. But this is what will make all the difference.
The doctor reaches once more into the bucket, revealing a well-preserved human brain. Despite losing all feeling in her stomach, the patient couldn't help but feel sick at the sight of it.
The man that this came from was a genius. You share many of the same characteristics, although he had a bit of a quicker wit than you.
You're going to replace my brain?
Yes, it's my last hope.
Last hope for what?
Eternal life. If this works, I could live forever.
This is just too much. I won't let you do this.
You think you have a choice?
The patient tries to run but is stopped by the doctor. She forces her onto the table, tying her down with blood-stained rope. She struggles and yells for help as the doctor continues to laugh.
I have worked far too long for you to get in my way now. So many people have died for this cause, for me to achieve this goal. It was all in the name of science, medicine, the future. I didn't bat an eye when any of them perished. They were merely rats that I experimented on. You're no better than any of them. And the only regret I would have if you died would be knowing that that was the end. I had run out of options. If this doesn't work, nothing will.
The doctor grabs a knife from the box. She stands over the patient, ready to cut into her.
I hope you don't mind if I don't use anesthesia after what you said about your breathing stopping in your sleep. I don't want to take any chances.
The story you just heard was The Procedure by Sam Opdahl, a radio play adapted from a short play very loosely adapted from Cool Air by H.P. Lovecraft, featuring Kristen Lincoln as the doctor, Laken Workman as the patient, and Matt Ma as your narrator. Special thanks to Mike Long, our Foley artist, who put together all the sounds, and Kristen for editing the video. I hope we were able to give you an interesting escape from your daily life. If you enjoyed this, maybe toss us a few coins. Thank you for joining PCT Virtual Theater. Good night.